Welcome. I'm Aaron Jack, and this is the Aaron Jack Show here with Doing Good HQ. Today we're going to be on with David Szauder, and so I'd like to welcome you today to this beautiful day. Today, the only day that we are now. So thank you so much for joining. It's going to be a wonderful episode. I'm so excited to have David on here, who's going to share some wonderful abstraction of the world with us today. So thank you so much. I'm Aaron Jack, and welcome with Doing Good HQ. Thank you so much. Welcome.
Hello, could you hear me well?
Yep, you're good. You're
That's
good.
great, that's great. I'm sitting in a cafe in a small town in Hungary because I'm originally from Hungary, and now I'm working partly here in Hungary in a project, and I'm just traveling for the next 2 weeks, so I decided to sit here in a nice coffee for this talk. But this is a nice cafe, it's full with artworks, analog artworks. I'm just showing you the atmosphere. So hello, how are you?
I'm good. I've just been curious about your digital portraits, this abstraction, and how you find this medium between kind of this classical world of conceptual art and where you are today with NFTs. So please tell us more. Love to know.
Well, as I told you, I'm from Hungary, and when I was a child, we had some kind of socialism or communism here in Hungary. So it was really difficult to have a computer. But my grandfather, who had some money, decided to bring a personal computer to me when I was 8. That computer called the Commodore C64. Maybe you know that. It was a fantastic computer with fantastic abilities. And I got the classic games like Wizard of Oz, Zack McCracken, Raid over Moscow, Spy vs. Spy. But I found the disc and it was written Art Studio. Okay. I just tried and I realized that with a joystick, I can create shapes. I can draw abstraction. So basically, I was 8 years old when I started to work with computer graphics. Then the next step was summer camp where we used C64s, and the teachers just showed me Simon's Basic. Simon's Basic was my first environment where I can use computer code to generate computer graphics.
You use computer code now.
In many situations, yes, I use computer code now. All this glitch situation, which I started to use in 2008, 2007, it was based on computer code. Many things I did with computer code.
Let's jump into some of your artwork right now. Like, I know you have some on your laptop. Let's check it out.
Yeah, let's try to. I need to circulate the screen. So everything started here. It was 2013. It's called The Story of Mr. Wolf. It's called glitch art. I never considered myself as a glitch artist. I considered myself a digital artist who used glitch as a tool to express some kind of conceptual ideas. And here in this composition, it's an old photograph from my family, which I used. And I tried to make kind of parallel thing between the memory of the computer and between the human memory. Because our memory is working in a very similar direction. There are some details in our life, what we start to forget. Just imagine that you saw your uncle 20 years ago and you remember that he has a long beard and a long hair and he had some kind of nice glasses. And then you see a picture from the same time and you realize that he had a short hair, he was shaved, and he has no glasses. Because you start to forget the details. This happens with the computer. You load this image into your screen. You use the image in Photoshop, you watch a movie, and the image will start to disappear. But some fragments you can call from the memory and you can create some kind of collages. This is what I did. This is pure computer code. Let me show you another example from this series, what I called the failed memories, like this. So this is something between the classic glitch art and some kind of digital style what I developed myself and what I'm still using in my work. Like this.
Well, I'm curious here how you view memories, like because these are specific. Are all of these specific people for you? Because I know you use some like iconographic images, but maybe you also use some like very personal images. Or how does that work
Yes,
for you?
the previous one was a very, very personal image. This one is not a very personal image, but I can show you an image, and this maybe you can recognize the face of this person. He became very popular nowadays. He's all right. Okay, sorry for the noise. So this is Vladimir Putin, and I just created an animation out of his face. And if you see, there are some fragments of glitch. And I used glitch as a tool to make a kind of composition with the face of Putin. Because, the thing is that we have now a situation with this war, Putin, Russia, Ukraine. But the end of the situation in the next 100 years, we will able to memorize this face because he's an icon, as you said, the icon of this war. You know what I mean, or try to say here? And this is why important for me to use this kind of iconic images.
I'm curious about that in terms of like memory and how do you view that and then take your own like current like iconographic symbols and consider the transformation with these other symbols that you've started to incorporate beyond the maybe glitches in memory and how do you interact between the symbols?
Everything starts with a visual. The visual is in my mind. I see a picture. In this case, I saw a picture, the image of Vladimir Putin inside a golden atomic bomb and some Russian soldiers who already left some arms, heads, some body parts sitting on his golden atomic bomb because they will be the people who will be sacrificed with this war. You know what I mean? The soldiers. And I had this image in my mind. And the left of the job, this is what I called conceptual digital art. The left of the job was to create the image according to the visual, according to this memory what I had.
So that's really interesting how you're playing with the symbols. Maybe you could take us in a little bit closer and show us some of the specifics. You know, you're allowed to zoom in, zoom out, show us like a bigger picture and maybe some close-ups and some different aspects of it. Because I'm very curious to see maybe parts that are difficult to see on Instagram. I'm not sure if we're losing you here with the Instagram spinning wheels. Maybe you can tell me in the live comments what's going on, but that would be helpful. Oh, we lost David. We'll get David back in just a second. We're here with Doing Good HQ, and I'm Aaron Jack with the Aaron Jack Show. Today we have David on here sharing his work. So, David Szauder, we're going to have him right back on here in a second. We're going live. We're going live from around the world, from Berlin to Hungary, to right there in maybe your own living room. So thanks. Hey, we're back. All right. Yeah, so maybe bring us in a little bit. Bring us, maybe zoom in or, zoom out. Like, let's see some different aspects of it. What's going on? I know you're on the road right now,
So you
so
see that
maybe
there
the
are the
internet is...
fragments of the face. Could you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you. It just takes a minute for, I think, the screen to update, so... But I'm seeing it. Are you still here with me? Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. It's an experiment, This whole going live, being live in the world, being alive. And what does that mean between this digital, physical explorations? We'll have David back on here in a second. We'll see how it goes. So thanks for sticking with us today on the Aaron Jack Show. Welcome. It's always good to be here and to be here with you and to explore art and NFTs and to just explore life together. So I really appreciate you, the audience, for being here every time. We're going to have David right back on here, going live once again, going to be alive right here. Thank you. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. In a second, we will be alive again. We're alive. We're alive even when we're not alive on the screen. It's an interesting concept. So we're here every week, just so you know. We're here every week here with Doing Good HQ, exploring these NFT thought leaders and artists, creators, explorers of the human mind. We are going to be alive with different people around the world, exploring what is that to them. So we are just waiting for David to get back on here. And in the meantime, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for being here and exploring the world with us, because I think that's a beautiful, beautiful thing. So a little moment about Doing Good HQ, where you can have up to 200 creators on a single smart contract, and 5% or more goes to a nonprofit or charity based on the creator's choice. So I love it here at Doing Good HQ. We are going to accept David's request back on if we can. Welcome to Darko. Welcome to all of you out there. We are working to go back. There we go. We're back live. We're back live in Hungary.
Sorry, I'm
No, you're
sorry. This is
fine.
it's a coffee, and something happened with the wireless network, and I turned to mobile data, and that just ended our relationship. So,
Well, we're back. We're
but
back.
now a bit back, and I will show you some details. I'm not sure that on the screen you can see, but for example, this image became somehow very popular from my images, the story of Mr. Wolf. And what I used is an algorithm, which is, it's not Photoshop, it's not kind of editing software. It's more like an algorithm, which is basically
We're cutting up a little bit. I'm really intrigued by this, the glitching and then the glitch. There's something to this glitching in the memory and how much we each hear and exist, and the algorithms that create the right now, because we can't hear you, but we can kind of see it. I don't know. Tell me in the comments live, because we're alive right here, right now. And so this is a really interesting point about the glitches in the algorithm and the memories that we have each ourselves, and the memories that just existed on the screen just moments ago and moments in the future, perhaps. But together, we figure out a way forward. And I think that's an interesting thing. Here we go. Let's see what happens. Here on the Aaron Jack Show. Welcome. Welcome back. All right, there we go. We're back.
Sorry,
Okay. Tell us more about the glitch, because it seems to be affecting our our physical digital lives.
So basically, the algorithm is able to store the picture in the video memory. And from time to time, I can call back the different fragments from the video memory. So what you see here, these small particle-like details, are just recalls from the video memory. And how I'm recalling them, I'm just modifying the original structure of the face. So this is a kind of game between time and reality. This is how our memory is working, with time and reality. This is what I used in this work so far. And recently, I turned back a bit to the glitch art, and I started to create some abstract portraits, which is not really closely glitch art, but using some motifs from the glitch art, but creating unique distortions in face. I call this series digital painting because basically I have a model, and with my cursor in my algorithm, I can modify the different details, the different parts of the image, and creating a new kind of distortion. And this is for me important because I'm always looking some kind of new solution to express the visions what I have. And this kind of digital painting is, I feel very strong in my work. I don't want to compare with others' work because people just could easily compare their works with others. I'm always comparing my work with myself because this is the balance what I feel important. And this kind of digital painting is kind of some good results in my research. All my artistic progress is a kind of research. I have a starting point and I have an end result. It's never ending, basically. But there are certain steps which I can call artworks. And this is for me an important step. Let me show you some other examples which I created recently. It's another portrait solution. In this work, I used my own glitch code to create some kind of deepness. It's like a landscape, a digital landscape, but it's very embedded into the human face. And I added some spheres, and these spheres just trying to explore the deepness of the personality in the image. So yes,
Can
it's
you talk
about that.
a little bit more about your research process? I'm just really interested in your research process and what that's like, and how do you take that exploration and bring that into maybe every image, or bring that into your own life? What's that research process like for you? Maybe like right now, like what are you working through?
Right now, what is look? The answer, and here is a good point to turn a bit to the NFT, and sorry to bring NFT up, but now in the center of my circulation is the formal language of NFT. What does it mean? It means that NFT itself is a format. It's an opportunity for digital artists to sell artworks. But in a certain point, we have to realize something. We have to realize that NFT has a certain aesthetical level which is working, which creates that kind of environment which becomes successful in the NFT fields. I cannot hear you right now.
Oh, would you like to turn around the camera? Sorry, I had my microphone off.
I just, sure.
Oh yeah, you can just.
Okay.
Yeah, no, because I'm very curious about this NFT, and how you utilize this as a digital artist, and you consider this this new aspect of creation and how that's changed your work.
I'm really curious as well. So, giving an answer, what I'm researching now, what is my role in this kind of crypto art world? Because I have heritage. Let's call heritage. This is the heritage what I'm bringing with me from my previous, let's call it previous art experience. I just show a certain amount of examples before. And this, what I'm bringing here with me, needs to be added to this certain aesthetical level, what we call NFT or crypto art. And the fusion creates an interesting artistic energy. But to do that, we need to keep the level of art in a certain point. This is a very, very fragile balance for me. And this is what I'm trying to understand and research in a way how digital artists coming from the old school, because I'm in a way old school, I'm doing digital art, glitch art since 2008, could survive the age of crypto art. And it needs a lot of energy and a lot of research. Because basically this kind of NFT world, or how we see this NFT world, so NFT world, if you are an artist, you create, this is point number one. You marketing yourself, so you try to sell yourself. And the part of this selling is the non-stop communication on Twitter and every kind of channel, take part of Discord servers, take part of the different portals of NFTs. And the third part of this process, how you position your artistic environment. And this needs a lot of energy to invest.
Now, I'm really curious about this artistic environment that you speak of, because I find that very important as an artist myself, is what is my artistic environment and how am I exploring it both in the digital world and the physical world? And how does this, and as you're looking at such like interesting identities, both in the external and internal world, as you manipulate these iconographic people, how do you relate to that and kind of cross between these artistic environments?
Look, the situation is like this. Let's say that I'm not David Szauder right now. I'm an animator who is in my whole life creating very simple abstract animations, animating circles which are moving from left to right and then from right to left. This is a very simple story. And I do this animation. I create an NFT out of it. Let's call mint it as an NFT. And upload to the one of the big portals. I upload to Rarible, OpenSea, anywhere. Then nothing happened for a half year. Nobody is interested to purchase my artwork. The next day, one day, I wake up and I see an artwork very similar, a circle moving from up to down and from down to up, same aesthetic, same concept, same movement, same kind of animation. And this guy is selling the work for one Ethereum, which is around 2,700 euro. What I got something very bad in my stomach that, hey, I did the same. This could be my own animation. This could be my own art. Please escape. This is my artwork. This is my world. How do you come into my world? You are an intruder. You need to quit because I did this. I did this earlier than you. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Then I have to think about it. I'm an artist. So where is my artistic point in this? Do I need to start to look at a new artistic field and create a sphere from the circle? And with that sphere, I can achieve something new. I can explore a new kind of animation and be successful in the crypto environment. Or I just stand back and say, alrighty, good, then I didn't sell. I will leave it for another half year. Maybe someone will be interested to buy that. So this is how it works. This is how we explore our own artistic concept into the crypto world. Because I see many things which I did 10 years ago and people selling really successfully. But I cannot stay there and say that, hey, I did this already. Because someone else became successful with that. Do you know, do you understand what I'm trying to say here? Do you see the difficulty to keep a balance in this kind of new and beautiful and very successful crypto world?
Yeah, it seems like a very interesting struggle in terms of where one is as an artist, as a creative before this time, or parallel to this time, and how to incorporate those aspects. What is it to create artwork
So,
and continue that journey?
sorry, it
Um,
just came a very good comment and I can answer slowly. So you start to second out your art? No, I never do that. For me, NFT is a tool. I consider the tool as a possibility. NFT is a very, very, very fast running train. And every artist, doesn't matter that it's digital, physical artist, needs to decide that has a place on this very, very fast running train. It's a decision. I can't decide this right now. I need to see this in much more deepness. But I'm not doubting in my art. I'm just trying to understand how my art could be compatible with the phenomena, what we called NFT. Sorry to interrupt you, but it was a very, very smart question, and thank you for that question. And it was really good to clear this thing live.
so when we talk about these different environments of creating digital art and the you know and then the crypto art, how do you find that moving you and changing your work?
I, it was 2021, 11th of March, when a guy called Bleep just sold an artwork for incredible amount of money. I knew something about NFT, but it wasn't clear for me what is really NFT. So I wake up next day and I saw the news. This guy sold the artwork for millions of US dollars. And I wake up, hey, but I'm a digital artist. So what should I do with this? Should I do NFT? What is NFT? And I try to understand what is NFT. So it's just a wake up call. It's a wake up call. And then came the hype. And if you ever did digital art in your life, you cannot escape from this hype. You need to face with this hype. You need to understand this hype because this is an incredible amount of success for you. Not just kind of financial possibility, but also a new kind of society became built on the top of NFT and crypto collection, and I admire that. I really admire that. It gives a lot of power to the digital artist to create new artworks, to be part of a society which was never before that strong like right now.
It's really interesting what you're saying in terms of hype and the art, because you seem to have kind of a foot in both realms of the hype as well as a strong pursuit of your own work and your own vision in terms of what is internal to you, but also the external iconographic sort of visions in the world. How do you balance that?
Yes, thank you for the question. And now I'm trying to go back to my computer for a second. Maybe it's not interrupting again our beautiful friendship here on the Instagram. And so let me show you an example of the art which I created last year. This is a small, tiny robot. It's getting information from the news portal. I did it during the COVID lockdown. And the idea was to create a kind of drawing machine, which is drawing the abstraction of the COVID disease based on the new cases, based on the number of the new cases from the news portals. This is digital art. I have nothing to do with this drawing. This robot could draw for hours and hours and hours. This is a digital art piece, what I would never, never, ever convert to crypto art. Of course, I was thinking to create some kind of crypto version out of this work, but I didn't do this. Or I created a huge sculpture, a kinetic sculpture in 2020, which is again an analog art. Because I still need this kind of, let's call it non-crypto conceptual artworks in my life. And of course, I was thinking how I can create NFT out of it. But then I decided, no, it's not the way. I have to preserve one part of me just for the non-NFT, non-crypto art fields. And lately, we opened a show in Berlin, what we called the All My Data, where I presented all the portraits which I created for NFT in the last 1 year. It's around 25 digital portraits. If you see my Instagram, I don't want to advertise myself so hardly, but if you turn to my Instagram page, you will see these portraits. I create incredible amount of portraits. I like portraits, as you told me these are iconographical things. At the right, you see this is an Andy Warhol portrait, which I deformed the personality of Andy Warhol with other famous people. Or you can see here Andy Warhol as a robot. This is me. This is a self-portrait creating some kind of distraction. Or Donald Trump, it's not visible very well with a strange symbol in the head. This is my chapel. This is my chapel. And why I'm showing now this, because this is a crazy situation. I created these animations for NFT purposes, but lately I transferred in a gallery situation, in a normal classic gallery situation where you can see as artworks running in a gallery.
How do you see that moving forward in terms of the classical gallery and the digital crypto galleries and metaverse? How do you see that connecting and combining and conjoining? And what does that mean to you as we move forward between those worlds?
Uh, yes, it's a very good question. I think we need to move into the physical space as much as possible. We need to bring NFT. We need to find. I'm not just an artist, I'm a curator as well. So I'm working with galleries in a I use gallery as a curatorial space to express my visions as well. And in this case, for me, it's very important. It's imperative to use gallery as an environment to show NFT gallery, what we can call the white cube as well. Uh, but this is a very, very, very big question in my mind. How we can do that? Because what is trendy now, you can see many examples, this kind of big, huge screens, mostly in standing formats, and people running NFTs, animations, images on that. This is the best solution for that? Should we think about a bit more how we can place the artworks in a gallery situation, in a museum situation? Shall we project them? Shall we make augmented reality out of it? Shall we use 3D printer, electronics, or certain kind of new invention to present NFT as much as possible? It would be a really, really big challenge for me, and I'm really, really looking forward to work on that. The first show, what is running, if I can advertise a bit here, in the Discourse Gallery in Berlin Center in Novalis until the 6th of May, is based on the idea of presenting artist works with NFT in a gallery space. This was the first step, what we did. We tried to use conceptual classic artists in a gallery situation, but converting all the artworks into NFT. This is an experiment again. And I'm looking forward to continuing how we continue this work.
I'm very interested in how this plays into your research because you're talking about the research in terms of your view of the external world and how your views of like certain um, iconic people, but then also your research in terms of curatorial aspects of not just your work, but how does it fit into a larger scope of other people's work within this white box or non-white box scenario? How do you view that kind of connection between those worlds?
Yes, I heard the beginning of the question and
Uh-oh, are we losing you again? We'll see what happens. Let's see what happens. We're here with Doing Good HQ and David. And David. I'm Aaron Jack. And so I'd like to welcome you to the Aaron Jack Show. We're here, we're seeing what happens with internet. Again, we're live, we're alive here in this day and time, in the virtual and digital and physical forms, between cities, around the cities, and through the internet. We've come to you. So thank you so much to you, the audience, for joining. We're going to be back on here in a second with David Szauder. So thank you so much for joining. I really appreciate all of you, the audience who comes back here every week. So here we go. We're back.
Okay, I don't know how long it will take to get a clean signal out from the internet, but I
It's
try to
okay.
do.
It's okay. It's like, it's in a way it's kind of mirroring your work a little bit, like this kind of like memory of who we are, and this kind of like, you know, algorithm algorithm of memory. So it's interesting for me in that way.
Yes, fragments. Let me present the fragments of David Szauder. If you can understand, you will get some kind of reward or some kind of NFT. You can win an NFT. Hi, this is Aaron Jack Show, and maybe you can win some NFT if you understand what David said during all the lag of internet. No, I don't want to make jokes out of it, but yes, this is very interesting that we are living in 2022 in the age of NFT crypto art, and the wireless network is still, yeah, you know what I mean. But we need to move data because everything is about to moving data from one point to another point, from one pixel to another pixel. And in this world, we are still struggling with one live big Instagram talking.
So I'm curious, how do you work between that and you have these conceptual ideas and then your research it seems very personal to you, but then you also integrate that into your curatorial aspect. How do you tie that research between those two different like views in the world, um, and take that forward?
Look, the curatorial process is nothing else, just my empiric experience, what I got from my own artwork. Uh, the research itself is nothing else, just to trying to make some kind of beginning point and the end point. And there is always some kind of interesting points during this research. And crypto art for me was an interesting research itself. But let's go in a bit into the details. What happening? That's happening that we have Instagram, we have Twitter, we have NFT. So what we do, we are watching other artists' artworks. You are doing that. Everyone is doing that. And trying to recognize, is it good? Is it bad? Would I do the same? Or what? And this is I make with my own art. I'm always watching what I did, where I am now, and where I want to go. I always try to find a new format which is interesting. Maybe it's NFT, maybe tomorrow I start to create sculptures with my bare hands. If it's fitting into the profile, what I imagine as my artistic path, it's alright then. This is my research. This is how I go forward from one day to another, because artistic career is a path from one day to another. It's nothing like a year. I don't know what I will do in a year, where I will be in a year. We don't know where we'll be in the year with NFT. Maybe NFT will disappear. Maybe there will be some kind of struggling of servers, and all this kind of crypto world just disappears. But what we will have our bare hands, so we can start to do sculptures.
I think this is really interesting. What you're saying is that it's the idea of creation in it, that it goes beyond just the technological advancements, it goes beyond the current culture. It's the aspect that we have the ability to create culture. And in that, we're discussing the career and the longevity of it and of ourselves as creatives. And it goes beyond the mere hype of it all and goes into a longer term research and understanding of the world. And I'm curious because I know that there's a lot of new kind of digital artists who are, excited about the NFT world that have not been in it nearly as long as you. And I'm wondering how you view that artistic career progression and how that integrates into understanding that career path with like this momentary whatever you want to call it, and how does that play together?
Perfect. Look, this is a top question. This is a very, very important and top question. There are many different kind of artists, digital artists. There are the, let's say, there is the type A artist, which I am, who did already digital art before the hype of NFT, and trying to balance the own artistic career into the crypto art. There is the type B artist who is an artist, but or an illustrator, professional illustrator, possibly, and see NFT as a possibility and start to create NFT. And there is the third group, and this is the most interesting group. The ones who start to create art because NFT. And if there will be no NFT, they never would do artworks. And there are many, many artists who I saw who started to work because of the NFT, who started to learn computer coding, started to learn Cinema 4D or different kind of modeling software, Photoshop, and starts to create artwork because of the NFT. These people perhaps will never get into a institutional exhibition situation, what we digital artists who already struggling with digital art since ages did. And they born in a totally new situation with NFT. The criticism, the way of thinking is entirely different. And this is really interesting for me, how they work, how they think, how they go forward. And we have to think about it. But at the end of the day, when you go into a platform and you see different artworks of different artists, could you make a difference who is already an established artist and who is a newcomer in NFT? From the perspective of NFT, does it really care? Does it really mean something that you are an established artist? Or you just got into this and you learned Cinema 4D a year ago because you thought that this is my new digital renaissance? And this is really, really, really interesting. And I don't know who will really shape the future of NFT and digital art. I don't know. I cannot answer that question. We have to watch it. We have to follow. It's very interesting.
I think in that you brought up a really interesting idea that I hadn't thought about for a moment, but it's the idea of the artistic critique. The the art crit, really, and where some of us are coming from. From going to art school and design school and, different things like that, and looking at the art crit and what does that mean in the age of NFT, or,
Yes.
in the age of we're all on Twitter and everything is open, where, I've been a part of Clubhouse so intensely, and we could close the room, we could have a closed room, which I think is, for me, is such an important part of the art crit, is that there's a closed group of people who are, okay, I can give honest feedback, I can give, we can have that exchange, we see each other every week, we do the, our art crit is for us, for this group to grow as a group, versus the expansive, like, hey, everybody's a part of it, and we're all gonna give each other high fives. How do you feel that moving forward between those different aspects, and what is the art crit now, or what could it look like, or how, do people even understand what anything about that, coming from, not having that experience?
Uh, the smart person, if doesn't know the answer, will ask back. And I will do that. I'm not a smart person, but I will ask back. I will continue your question. What is with the academic degrees? Do we really need that in the age of NFT? And there is another thing. Do we really need universities? Because in the universities, what we can learn, how we learn, we have tutorials on YouTube. Just go on YouTube and learn a software. If you have an idea, if you have visions, you can do it. Bam, you have it. You're rendering out, put some lights, minting it, putting on one of the NFT platform. Voila, you are an artist. You are a digital artist. If you are lucky, if you have a good taste, if you are lucky, if you are at the good place at the good time, you get in super rare, you can get in no origin, and you are successful. You are selling like hell. You never did any academic degrees, and you are still on the art field. So this is the real question. And if I say that, is it really art? If I ask that, is it really art? And they are really artists, those guys who are doing that, it seems like my own grandfather or my own father asking that. So this is a new generation. And I'm not against that. I feel really, really interested to see these new generations. Those who learn art from YouTube and creating clear digital art. Because they are possibly the new pioneers of the digital art. Do you understand what I'm trying to say here? Or should I rephrase a bit?
I understand, but I'm all about a little rephrasing and, refinement. I love this research idea and how we can further the question. And I'm very curious as you further that question, um, and help work it out for all of us.
I don't know. I have no clear answer. I need to go forward with my thinking. Uh, uh, I need to go forward and understand where we are going with all these things. The first question is the durability of crypto world and NFT. The second thing, it's not my idea, but I need to agree with that crypto art and NFT is a bit struggling right now. So there was a big hype, and right now all this thing is struggling. But if we just, if we just separate the idea of selling and we keep crypto art as a format, it's a good future because it's a kind of it could create a clean situation for artists how to exist in the art market. This is an advantage, and we need to go forward and we need to keep this advantage. in the sense of NFT, in the sense of blockchain, for me, it's a huge question that is it durable? Is it the future, or is it just a part of a bigger process? What needs to be done? Because this kind of process needed to be done. This kind of process needed to be done all over the world. Just think about when Kandinsky, the famous painter, one of my favorites, he was struggling for years and painting landscape, and he wrote in his own diary that, oh, I know I have to go to abstraction. I need to leave this form out of my work. And then one day, after struggling and drinking incredible amount of vodka, he decided to create the first abstract artwork. Or just think about Jackson Pollock. You know Jackson Pollock. He's the father, the grandfather, the god of abstract expressionism, which is huge today, which was always huge. And he was struggling for 40 years, 30 something years with his painting, and nobody take care of Jackson Pollock. And one day he was really drunk, and he started to put the painting randomly on that canvas, and he created something beautiful. And everybody was said, what is this shit? And the second moment he became like this. This is really parallel what happens with NFT and crypto art. Just question, the dedicated question here, that we are living in the age of technology and everything much, 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 much faster than before, because as we agreed before, as I told before, artist doesn't need academic degrees. Artist doesn't need exhibition background to be successful in the world of digital arts. And in this fast world, this kind of transition we need, what Jackson Pollock felt when he did his first abstract image.
What you bring up is a really interesting point in terms of engaging with the work to such a degree that the struggle is not just in the external world of selling the work, but it's of an internal aspect of engaging with one's own process, and that process being driven by that. And I think it's really interesting that you bring up these artists that had such an internal driving force to move their work and to move the world of how we see the world to such a new level. And I wonder, what does that look like, as perhaps as we have all of these emerging artists? How do we instill or know what that is to engage in the process and to speak about the process in a way that moves the whole world forward?
It's a very good question, but I perhaps not the best person to answer your question. What I can answer that, what I can say here, that this is a huge question. Why do you do what you do? Why do you do your art? What is your goal? And with NFT, it's much, much more interesting, the goal. You do something because you want to sell something, or you want to do something because you want to express yourself. This is the most crucial part of creating art. And if you do something because you want to express yourself, will the audience be able to see this, that you did that because you wanted to express yourself? There are many, many, many fake art things in the crypto, and not fake because it's bad art. There is no such thing as bad art. I just want to clear here at this point. There is no bad art, and there are no bad artists. Everybody is an artist in a certain point, and every art has a value. and the audience and the people needs to respect that. But there is fake when you do something and coming someone and creating the same situation as an artist and saying that's my own. That's fake, that's cheating, that's lying. But if you do your own art, nobody will create something similar to you, because you will be always unique. This is what I try to tell in a very complicated way.
Well, this is a very interesting idea that we're discussing the artistic voice, in fact, in this. And we're discussing what is beauty, at a very basic level, that it goes beyond perhaps just self-expression and goes to what am I creating? Am I creating from a place that is beautiful? Am I creating from a place that is self? Am I creating from an artistic voice? And even developing that artistic voice takes time. And
Sorry,
I'm
I
very
have to stop you
curious.
now. I have to stop you now. There is no such thing as beauty. There is value. And value is much more important, because beauty is a very, how to say, it's very, it's a subject. Beauty is a subject we can discuss, but is it important to create beautiful things, or is it important to create valuable things? And how is the sustainability of art? Because a beautiful thing could be beautiful for a moment. I watch it, oh, this is a beautiful portrait. Oh, this is a beautiful landscape. But is it value? I will take it home in my own brain. I will remember, just back to the memory where we started all this process. Will I be able to remember to the fragments of that artwork, of that beauty, if there is no value behind that artwork? For me, it's a very, very important question. So I'm always trying to find value in an artwork and not beauty.
Thank you. I appreciate that perspective. And I think
So,
this is a
so
good. Hmm?
yeah, sorry, but I interrupted you, but I needed
No,
to.
no, no. That's what this is. It's a conversation. And I
Yeah,
appreciate you engaging in the conversation today.
no, you made very, very good questions. You made hard questions sometimes. It was good to have them, because it wasn't an interview with me. It wasn't a talking. You made me think. So I bring something home from this discussion, and I hope the audience, those people who just enjoy this very long discussion about conceptual digital, was able to bring something home from this conversation.
Thank you.
Thank
I
you.
really appreciate that. And I appreciate you being here and thinking with me.
Thank you. And I'm just always open to any kind of questions. So if someone is interested to ask questions, you can find me on Instagram. There is an email address next to my account, and I'm always answering to your questions. So feel free to ask, comment, reflect on everything, and I will be always there for you. Thank you so much.
Wow. Wait, can you tell us where we can find you on Instagram, Twitter? Spell out your handles for us, letter by
Uh,
letter, by
Yeah,
voice.
my Instagram is my name in one word, David Szauder. The last my family name is a bit complicated, because it's Szauder. So David Szauder. It's written in one name. For the Twitter, I'm not a big fan of Twitter, but I'm using it as every artist who is related with crypto using Twitter. I use my older artistic alter ego, which was Pixel Noise. So pixel and noise, but the noise is not written in English, it's written with two Z at the end. So this is basically the most important channels where you can find me, and on both channels you will find my email address, and I'm happy to communicate.
Perfect. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you being here and thinking with me and us today, whenever today is, for anybody who watches this at another point in time. Would you like to leave us with some words for the world to consider as we move into a valuable future, as it were?
Well, I can say something as a last word for those who are creating art and creators. Do whatever you want to do, just be proud of yourself if you create art. This is the most important thing. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for joining here today. I'm Aaron Jack with Aaron Jack Show. Today we had and still have David Szauder here with us. So thank you so much for watching, David, and for David being here with us today. We've covered so many things, from the artistic critique and the future of NFT art and how it interacts with the digital iconographic memories of ourselves, of others, of the world around us, and how we as artists or as creators or collectors interact with that world, interact with the world of culture, and how we might be able to see it moving into the future of culture. So again, I'm Aaron Jack. This is the Aaron Jack Show with Doing Good HQ. Thank you so much for doing good. Yeah, where you can have 5% or more of your NFT go to a nonprofit or a charity. So thank you so much to Doing Good. I'm Aaron Jack, and I'll see you next time here on the Aaron Jack Show. Thanks you so much.